I love maps, and video games have plenty of them. In this series, we will analyze and review maps from different strategy games and have some fun. That being said, welcome to Map Review. Hello and welcome, I'm ThePrezydent, and this is another map review. This time, we're reviewing the map of Medieval 2 Total War. Let's just toggle fall and use caps. Wait a second, yeah. That's how I'm supposed to do this. Perfect. We see the whole map of Medieval 2 Total War. Right off the bat, I'm gonna say that I probably have some bias when it comes to this game, because I probably spent the most time on this map, so I just got used to it. But then again, I know its flaws. Starting with England, this is probably one of the greatest areas in the entire game. When it comes to shapes of the provinces and how they come together to form nice empires, they look great. There is a good number of settlements. Everything looks fine. I like how Ireland, although it has just one settlement, its settlement is really strong, so it's hard to occupy it. And that's nice. Even Wales has its own settlement. It's really great. And so this is like a 10 for me. When it comes to France, on the other hand, there is a weird situation where settlements are all in the north and in south of France. There's absolutely nothing here, and there's a huge hall, which makes gameplay kind of weird. You know, it doesn't reflect on the map because the provinces look cool, and the shapes that you're gonna be having are pretty nice. I mean, usually most of the shapes in this game are actually going to make you nice looking empires on the map, but I really wish they could add one still in here. I remember when I was a kid and I played the game, I usually put a fort here and was keeping at least one troop there just so it looks better. I know, it was just a thing I did. Now Spain. Spain is pretty cool, what can I say? When it comes to the south of Spain, I think they did a great thing with kind of layers of occupation of the Muslims. You can see one here and like second layer. It's pretty cool when you're Spanish and trying to do your Reconquista. They actually used shapes of provinces to kind of add some roleplay value, and I could really appreciate that if that was their purpose. It's like the only exception to my rule of not allowing, you know, one province to have more than one coast. This actually looks pretty cool. And centralized settlement here, everything looks pretty fine. Africa, I actually hate Africa in this game. The provinces are huge, they're squarey, there's not enough of them. I mean, there are some here in the south, but I don't think you can even get here Italy in the game. I don't think that's possible. This is just really bad, but I understand that Medieval shouldn't really focus on Africa, but they included it, right? So I guess they could have done it better. Tunisia is fine, but then Libya. Libya is probably the biggest province in the game. Yeah, it is, and you just need one settlement of Tripoli right here-ish, and you control this whole thing. And then when you see on the map when you're playing as some Italian state, you control, you know, a few provinces, and then boom, you have most of your empire is just this empty desert. The whole problem could be eliminated by actually limiting this province to just being the coast, and this being just nothing, unconquerable, or just adding one small settlement here somewhere. I know it's unrealistic. And here, look at this place. It just asks itself for a settlement to separate Libya into two, because it's kind of dumb from the roleplay perspective when you're like playing as Egypt and then somebody controls this desert. And it's like, oh, whoa, wow, Venice is controlling Libya, and you're like wondering how their settlements like over here. This is a huge distance. Okay, moving into Egypt. Egypt is fine. Has a few provinces, but I don't think that medieval games should even focus on like this place right here. They have Dongola, which really saves them, which is important for trade. And hey, they have Gaza, which has a nice peninsula shape. I can appreciate that. Middle East and the Holy Land looks absolutely amazing. It clearly looks like all the provinces, shapes and the number of settlements was designed so that and many countries in Europe can just settle here and create their own, kingdoms of Jerusalem and stuff like that. The, Crusader state. And that's pretty great. Even Adana, Antioch, Aleppo, they're close to each other, but makes sense. I really like that. This desert province I don't like for, obvious reasons. It's too huge. And it could just have, settlements somewhere in the middle, whatever. I don't like too huge provinces. Moving into Mesopotamia, it looks fine. It really looks pretty nice. Nothing more to say. Even like Armenia, Georgia territories, they look fine with everything, I guess. It's enough provinces for me. Moving into Anatolia. Anatolia is okay, although I could appreciate one settlement here. Because there's like a huge gap in between settlements, and then Trebizond. Yeah, I just wish they could add here something. Theirs is fine. I like that Smyrna and Rhodes are here together. Like they're like groups of settlements, right? Which means it's hard to conquer Anatolia of just one province. You just have to conquer it piece by piece. That's how I imagine it. It's pretty cool for me. Greece, on the other hand, they could really add another settlement here. It's asking itself for having a settlement here of Athens. That could control not only, this part, the Corinth, I believe it's called. They could also hold this part of Greece, to have a nice province in the middle. Because Durazo is really north of, Greece proper, and it seems that if you occupy Durazo, you automatically control half of Greece. I don't really like that. The Balkans look fine. Nothing really to say here. It's good that even the shapes are kind of working in favor of Hungary creating a nice shape, just becoming more rounded and having a shape similar to what they had in actual history. Italy is also pretty good. They have many settlements in the north, which shows where the population actually was and what was rich back in the day, and less settlements here in the south, although it still has 3 of them. It's still pretty cool. And finally, one city per island, just how I like it. Moving into Germany. Germany is pretty good. Quite a few settlements. Maybe they could they could use one here in the Netherlands, because this seems like a huge swath of land, especially since this was quite populated area at the time. But the provinces here look cool. When you conquer Antwerp, see on the map, it looks like you're conquering the whole Netherlands. Looks fine for me. The shape it is, The only thing is Vienna, this ugly line here. It looks like it should be owned by Hungary, by the shape they're going in. It's kind of strange, especially since with Innsbruck they kind of creating this nice Austria shape in real life. They could just round it up a little bit. It would look much better. Moving into Poland. Poland looks fine. I guess maybe this is a bit of a weird cluster right here. But for the most part, I think what they're trying to do is allow Poland to create a nice shape of Poland and Lithuania. Because if they take Thorn, Vilnius, Riga and Kiev, you look at the map and it makes the ideal shape of Poland and Lithuania. Maybe I'm seeing things, that's what I think when I look on it. It's nice. There's less provinces here. They're less dense, but it makes sense. This part, especially in the year the game is in, it's 1080. This was kind of wild area, There were tribes that were still pagan here. Poland was a new country, and yeah, this is pretty good. Rus or Novgorod or Russia, although it should be rather called the Republic of Novgorod, I think. I may be wrong. The shape of the province is weird. What is this thing? I always wonder about that. That's maybe that's an Easter egg, and look at that. This piece of map is not even claimed by anything. It seems like there should be a lake here. Whatever. It's interesting. The provinces in Russia are kind of huge, but you know, you can't really have many settlements here. This is sparsely populated area, and they're kind of weird shaped. But think about if you're expanding as Russia, right? You're expanding in a nice direction. You know, right here it kind of gives you layers of conquest. But it's fine. And finally, 3 different, you know, settlements for the Nordic countries. I'm so happy I can see that. This is so great. You know, in Rome there was just one settlement for whole Denmark and all of this. That was awful. Right now it's just perfect. And we are not done, because in this game there are also the Americas. And for map review, it's a map review, so I have to say this. This is totally not the right shape or distance from Europe as it's supposed to be, but from gameplay perspective it makes sense. It closes up, you know, the area of Mexico, the area of Brazil and North America, so that it's relatively easy to get there, you know, from Europe. And the provinces are fine. I mean, right here you can see a huge army of the Aztecs, and this is good from gameplay perspective. We can't really see this on the map right now, but it's kind of nice when you conquer these provinces. They have nice shapes relatively, so even if there's like more than one country here fighting, it still looks nice. What can I say? Most of this, you know, most of the provinces in this game are beautiful. The map looks beautiful, you know, especially for the time. There's a nice kind of a variety in the way settlements are arranged in the whole map. I think that everything comes together really nicely. And the worst thing is probably Africa. Africa sucks. And this little province, like here inside France, I can excuse, you know. It's not a game changer. I mean, not a game breaker. But this is kind of weird. Okay, and one last thing. Venice right here is on an island. I was asking some YouTubers about their opinion, and one of them mentioned how cool it is that Venice is actually on a separate island, so it makes for bridge battles every time you try to conquer the settlement. And that's an amazing addition. Like, I tip my hat to you, whoever made this decision. Okay, so that's it. And I was thinking about what actually what's my verdict. What does this game deserve? It can't deserve anything less than a 7. I think this is an amazing map. Look, in Bohemia is Bohemia shaped, and Prague, they really did their homework. They did the work. This is a much better map than in Rome. And if not for, you know, awful Africa, this map could get like a 10. But, you know, all being said, I think this map gets a 8. Yeah, an 8. Has its problems. You know, some here. The Greece is not perfect, especially if you're playing as the Byzantine Empire. It's kind of strange. And plus, Africa is terrible. And it's a huge part of the map. I would give it a 9, but I know that there are better maps in existence, and if I would give this one a higher grade than if you compare it to the other maps I will review in the future, it would kind of be unfair to compare them. Yeah, so this one gets an 8. Tell me in the comments what you think about this map and what's your like favorite part of the map is. I mean, for the most part, when you're in Europe, your empire's kind of nice on the map. They kind of, you know, look cool. But you gotta understand, when you move to Africa and, you know, have your colonies and stuff, or Crusader states are fine, but like Crusader states here, hell no. Okay, I want to see what you guys are thinking, guys and girls, and see you guys in the next map review. Bye.